We're in the midst of a quiet revolution. There's a shift in what truly matters, a move away from the hustle toward a life filled with more purpose and meaning. And today, I'll give you actionable strategies to make the shift yourself. I'm Kathy Robinson. I went from a very full life as a corporate executive to a fulfilling one, helping midlife professionals navigate the crossroad of professional life to a new life chapter. If you're questioning your next step and are sensing the source of motivation in your professional and personal life is shifting, you're not alone. The things that once drove us forward are changing. We're no longer looking for a life that's full of activity and stuff. We're looking for a life that's fulfilling. This can be attributed to maturity and what we've already achieved, but there are deeper undertones as well. So let's have a look at both. First is maturity, the natural process of aging. Our needs shift as our life evolves. The first half of our lives is all about building our careers, starting our families, and planning for a secure future. So it makes sense that most of our energy is aligned with more material concerns. As Abraham Maslow wisely pointed out, once these needs are met, we can choose activities that support our self actualization. Another aspect of aging is our own mortality becomes more prominent. Seeing our parents, family members, and friends complete their life journeys can lead us to reevaluate our own priorities and where we want to spend our energy and the time that we have that's remaining. The second set of drivers, as I mentioned, are deeper and they'll vary for each of you. The ones that come to mind for me are increased self awareness, generational drivers, and evolving values. Let's take a look at those. Increased self awareness. This comes through introspection and reflection to better understand our life and world experiences. This process gives us the insight we need to refine our understanding of who we are and what matters most to us. Next are generational drivers. This is an interesting one that will depend on the combination of when you were born and when your parents were born. I was at the very beginning of Gen X. We were known as the latchkey kids, experiencing new levels of independence because both of our parents worked. Match this up with my World War II generation parents who lived through the Great Depression. The combination in general creates an outlook of someone who is fiscally driven, discerning, and pragmatic, coupled with an entrepreneurial spirit and a socially inclusive worldview. Last are evolving values. We're living through turbulent and transformative times, which are accelerating a shift in values. In the last 5 years, we've witnessed seismic events affecting our physical and mental health, the workplace, ecology, the economy, politics, technology, and our social fabric. Putting all of this together, the greater self awareness of ourselves, our environment, and our historical drivers, we can get clarity around our core values, the fundamental beliefs that guide our decisions, actions, and life. The shift that many, including myself, are experiencing is that we seem to be turning from the extrinsic to the intrinsic, from external rewards and recognition to internal validation. And I think the palette of what is of value has broadened to include deeper aspects of personal and spiritual growth, creativity, and social impact. With all of this as a backdrop, it's easy to see why aligning with societal expectations or climbing a predefined success ladder becomes less compelling, even if we get to the top rung. And it's also evident why alternative paths to a fulfilling life that include activities and experiences that bring us genuine joy and satisfaction are so alluring. So, how do you begin to identify and work with your own evolving values? I'll start with some places to look in your daily life, give you some suggestions on how you might incorporate your values into your work, and then we'll end with your takeaway, which is a coaching exercise. Let's start with how to disrupt our daily status quo, because it's a great place to look at the fundamental principles that guide your decisions and actions, these familiar places where you feel comfortable. Here are five that come to mind. One, daily routines. Take a look at how you start and end your days, how you go about your work and household chores, your exercise, and how you spend your downtime. Two, your habits. Take a look at the behaviors you repeat unconsciously, such as when you check your phone and social media, or when you numb out with things like alcohol or television. The third are your beliefs. Take a look at your convictions and established opinions and how they impact your thoughts, outlook, and actions. The fourth area are your relationships. Take a look at the dynamics and patterns in your interpersonal relationships, including your partner, family, friends, and colleagues. And the fifth area are your lifestyle choices. Have a look at your dietary preferences, your spending habits, and your recreational choices. As you scan these areas of your life, look for where you've fallen into a stagnant comfort zone to identify where there's opportunity for growth and change. When you challenge your status quo, you open yourself to personal development, resiliency, adaptability, stretch goals, and new aspirations. Disrupting your own status quo creates room for new experiences and moving beyond a life that's full to one that's fulfilling. The second way to work with your evolving values is to incorporate them into your work life. If you're looking for a next chapter career, here are five that come to mind. The first is entrepreneurship. You might decide to start your own business that leverages your existing expertise, or find a way to incorporate a passion into your vocation of choice. The second are board positions. Put your leadership skills and strategic thinking to work as a board member. This is great for business leaders to stay current and engaged while making a difference for an up and coming business. The third idea is nonprofit work. This is a great way to apply your skills to a cause that you care about while making an impact in the greater good. The fourth area is mentorship and coaching. You can find ways to share your knowledge and experience at any point in your career. It's impactful to others and rewarding for you. Lastly, are creative pursuits. When you daydream about how to spend the perfect day, what are you doing? Whatever the dream, a great place to start is to find ways to learn more about it and engage with others who love it as well. The fun part of these seemingly intuitive opportunities to better align your work life with your interests and values is mixing and matching them. For example, you can combine creativity, entrepreneurship, and nonprofit work by establishing a writing workshop for imprisoned youth. Or you can combine coaching, creativity, and entrepreneurship by offering workshops to corporations who are looking to enhance innovation as part of their business leadership training. And lastly, as your takeaway, here's a coaching exercise to help you create an evolving values compass to move you from full achievement to fulfillment, aligning your values with your work. This exercise will work if you want to further incorporate your values in the work you do today or you're planning for a career transition. Here are the steps. Turn a piece of paper so it's positioned long ways in landscape format. Draw two large circles side by side and divide each circle into quarters. You can do this by drawing a line down the middle vertically and then another in the middle horizontally. Label each point like a compass: north, south, east, west. The circle on the left represents your current or last professional situation or your full state. The circle on the right represents your ideal professional situation or your fulfilled state. Start with the left-hand circle and under each direction, write a value with the most important one at the top under north. For example, in my last corporate role, I might have written growth, impact, and collaboration under east, west, and south with security at the top northern point of the compass. And take some time to reflect on what would bring fulfillment to your professional life. What values rise to the top of that list? When I started Athena Wellness years ago, I would have written creative, lucrative, and location independent under east, west, and south, with freedom at the northern point at the top of the compass. The difference between the two diagrams illustrate your shifting values. So now it's time to bridge the gap between the two diagrams. The objective is to determine how to incorporate your evolving values into your work. Suggestions include developing value-based skills and expertise, seeking new opportunities in your current firm, volunteering for values-based projects, and exploring values-based entrepreneurship or a side hustle. Create an action plan focused on at least one of the bridge gapping strategies and execute it. As we conclude, remember that the feeling of being full can arise from numerous experiences. Perhaps you've achieved all you wanted to in your current position, or maybe you've reached your zone of excellence and are operating out of routine. Maybe you've reached a level of material success that you've wanted, yet find that life feels devoid. If so, I hope you'll consider working with the strategies and exercise that we covered. And if you'd like to explore further, there's a link below for a free PDF titled 5 Questions to Explore a Soulful Second Chapter. It's time to build a meaningful future filled with purpose, growth, and impact, moving beyond the climb to fullness to an enriching life of fulfillment.